There are many who hop on that train of chasing the dream for fortune and fame. But those who already have it, some are really on a mission. So let's chat with our guest right here on JQLM Radio's Special Edition. Music, Hip Hop Detective by Rockcott on Pixabay.com. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of JQLM Radio's Special Edition with your girl, Lady J, right here on JQLM Radio. So, of course, we have another amazing guest for y'all tonight. But listen, y'all know we got to get those formalities out of the way before we get into it. So, look, if this is your first time tuning in, this is how you would share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in to the show and or to JQLM Radio. If you'd like to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in to JQLM Radio, this is what you would share. You can tune in live by downloading the JQLM Radio app on your Apple or Android devices. You can also listen live via Alexa, the TuneIn app, the Simple Radio app, and a host of other platforms of which you can find on our website, where you can also listen live at egoentertainmentnet.com/JQLM-radio. Or just visit egoentertainmentnet.com and click the button right there on the home page. You can also connect with us via our website or social media at JQLM Radio. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Additionally, you can email us at jqlmradio@gmail.com. Find us under our parent company, Ego Entertainment Network, on social media at EGOENTNET. That's Ego Ent Net. You can also follow us on LinkedIn at Ego Entertainment Network. And last but not least, make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel, Ego TV Network. All right. So now that we have those formalities out of the way, let's introduce our guest. So this guest I know personally is my bro, and some of you already know who he is and some of you don't. So without further ado, let me introduce to some and present to others Billboard charting national recording artist, Andraye Speed of Andraye Speed and Company. What's up, bro?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Glad to be here with my sister.
Hey, it's good to have you on, and I'm excited about this interview.
It's going to get good. Every time we come together, it's always good. So I've been waiting on this all day.
Every time. So, real quick, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you like to do in your spare time, and just a little bit about your background?
Okay. Again, my name is Andraye Speed. I am a husband, a father, vocal arranger, songwriter, musician, choir director, worship leader, all of that nice stuff. But honestly, I'm just a servant at the end of the day. That's really my main thing, is I'm just a servant. I am from Indianapolis, Indiana. Things I like to do in my spare time. Chill with my family. Honestly, I'm a homebody, to be honest. I'm an old man. Chill with my family. Music, like writing, reading the Bible, and watching anime. I'm a big nerd.
Anime. My sons love anime for whatever reason.
It's good.
So real quick, listen, first and foremost, let's start with the highlights, because I always start like and lead up to that. But so you have a new single called God is 2.0. Of course, that's in rotation on my playlist along with all the other music. But it also features Matthew Mosley, who is somebody that I've known for quite some time. We've actually sung together too. We used to go to the same church as well. So tell me what made you, switch to doing the God is 2.0, and how did that project come about? And what made you put Matthew on?
Okay, so I wrote God is 2.0 a long time ago, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I was probably like in my early 20s when I wrote that song. And so at the time I had a choir, it was called SOPW. And so that album, it was just a thing with that whole album that I did with that choir. It was like ahead of its time, and so as I do new projects, it's like one of those things where it's like, man, those songs can still be like presented to the world because it was all the songs that were written on there were just like so far ahead of their time. So I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do is every new project I do, I'm going to take one of the old songs from that old project and I'm going to remix it and then I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to put it on a new project. And then that was one of the from that choir. That was one of the city's favorites from that particular choir that I had. And so I thought it
Mm-hmm.
would be a good thing, like a treat for like our city to let that be one of the first songs I remix. So I went back to the
Mm-hmm.
drawing board, remixed some stuff, um, and then I'm like, okay, what voice do I hear? I normally hear like a voice um, for each single that either God drops it in my spirit or I hear the voice that needs to go on it. And immediately for this time around, it was Matt. First, it was Sharon Bunny Moore on the first album. And then
Mm-hmm.
on this particular project, it was Matt. So that's how God is 2.0. It's literally called God is 2.0 because it's the upgrade of the first one. So that's how that came about.
Got you. Okay, and with all of the projects that you've done, you have been featuring like different artists from Sunday's Best on some of your projects. My favorite song, even though I love all of his music, my favorite song though is, I know you know which one it is because I ask you about it all the time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I know you know which one it is. Well, I can't recall the name of the song. Um, it'll come to me in a minute. But that particular song, she has a very deep, rich voice. What's her name? She leads that song. She was on Sunday's Best too. Um, she has a very deep alto, rich voice. She's the lead on that song. That's my favorite one out of all of your songs. But um, what made you start to gear towards featuring those on Sunday Best or coming off of Sunday Best, whether they won or whether they were just a contestant on there? What made you veer towards that and just getting them on some of your songs? I think Andre froze for a minute, y'all. Yep. He'll pop back in a minute. So, for those of you who are just tuning in, we are talking to Billboard charting national gospel recording artist Andraye Speed of Andraye Speed and Company. He is the visionary and leader behind that group. His latest single, God is 2.0, features Matthew Mosley. If you have not heard it, if you have not downloaded it, streamed it, whatever, go get it right now. Okay. Go and share. All right. Follow him on social media at Andraye Speed, and his name is spelled Andraye. All right. And the speed is Speed. Andraye Speed and Company. You can find him on YouTube and stream his music there. um, Andre is a longtime friend of mine. He is also one of the artists that is featured on the Don't Give Up tour as well. And as you all noticed, we had to postpone that also just for a minute because we lost some very immediate loved ones, immediate family members. Those of us who are part of the tour, very intricate parts of the tour. But we will be picking back up soon, and Andre and his group is a part of that as well. So, Andre, I was asking you what made you start featuring Sunday Best contestants, whether they were winners or not, on your singles.
Okay, so here's the thing. So I am, and the best way I can say this is like this. When it comes to who features on a song, again, it's
Mm-hmm.
always a thing where I'm like, okay, God, what is the voice that can go to this song? Like, who is the perfect fit? And so I
Mm-hmm.
will never forget when it came to all of the above.
That's it. All of the above.
Uh,
Yes.
I knew because I knew where you was going. So I'll never forget. We were at matter of fact, we were at the house that we were living in before we moved into this one. And so I
Mm-hmm.
wrote the song, and I was sitting on the loft, and I just looked over to my wife, and I'm like, babe, I'm like, I know the perfect person, the perfect voice to go on this song. And the thing
Mm-hmm.
about it is the fact that she is who she is.
Mm-hmm.
I was almost nervous to reach out. I was nervous because a lot of times, I won't say a lot of times, but there's a nice portion of times where you'll meet, you know, people or talk to people who's like got a big platform, and their
Mm-hmm.
personality and their attitude is not always what you would hope it would be. So
Right.
sometimes I'm kind of nervous when it comes to reaching out. But my wife, who's always the voice of reason, which I absolutely adore my wife, she got the Holy Ghost and she is the voice of reason. And so she was like, babe, you know what? She said, just reach out. You never know, just reach out. And
Right.
so I ended up sending her a message, and I'm like, well, she's so busy she might not reach back. Tell me why. It was probably maybe the same day, and she reached back, and so I told her, what I was reaching out about, and she was like, let's do it. And I'm like, this has to be God ordained because
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous and scared about even reaching out to her, and she responded back, and the rest is history. And she was such a great person to work with. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how that came about. You know what I mean? Like I generally just hear from God, and He drops in my ear the perfect voice for that song that's being written.
Awesome. So you've been working on the album for quite some time.
Yes.
And I know that you are a perfectionist times 100. And sometimes that can be a good, it can be a good thing and a bad thing. One, because it's like some people can be, or try to be so perfect that it hinders their ability to actually complete a thing. And then two, it's a great thing because you know that with this individual, you're going to get top quality. So with those, those two sides, tell me, what is the thing or what is the moment that you decide, okay, now this is complete?
Oh, oh my gosh! I knew you were gonna start asking me these good questions. Okay, so being, most creatives, in any capacity, we're usually our own worst critics.
Hmm.
Um, and on top of that, usually that's it's a blessing. It's I don't want to say curse, but it's a blessing and it's a fight at the same time
Hmm.
because um, no matter what you put out, it's like, man, I know what I could do better. But
Right.
the fortunate thing is as a creative, usually we already know within ourselves and in our mind what that perfect thing looks like or what it will be when it is what it's going to be. And so
Hmm.
usually, after I write the song, I'll come up with like five, six, seven concepts.
Hmm.
Um, whether it's the music on piano or the parts and all of that good stuff. But there's usually that moment where after you edit it so many times and then you listen to it and it's like it settles in your spirit and it's like, wait a
Hmm.
minute, this is it. Don't do nothing else to it. Don't change it again. Don't rearrange nothing. This right here is what it's supposed to be. And when you can listen back maybe like 5 to 10 times and your mind still don't change about that, that's how I know,
Right.
okay, this is what it's supposed to be right here. You know what I mean? So that's kind of
Hmm.
my process.
Okay, that's I guess that's a good process. So I was telling them also too about the Don't Give Up tour, and a lot of people were, are looking forward to it. And we got several states booked, and we were able to go ahead and do Buford in lieu of losing some, some very close loved ones for those who are on the tour. Tell me, what I'll say motivated you, or made you say yes to this project. I know that the feedback that I received from the very first one was awesome. We didn't get not one bad review, and it touched so many people, and we had so many people sponsor uh, that particular show. And so tell me what made you decide to want to be a part of the Don't Give Up tour, because a lot of people know what the message is, as far as us marketing it and things of that sort.
So, number one, praise the Lord, my sister reached out to me about the tour. And when my sister reaches out to me about anything, the answer is yes. So, you already, you already knew that yes was coming when you reached out. And then on top of that, I just love as far as the the inspiration behind the tour. The name alone speaks volumes. Don't give up. You know how many people need that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, yes.
people are looking for something to minister to them. Like, there's so many people right now that's on the edge of giving up, whether it's on their dreams or something they're working on or life. And
Hmm.
I've never necessarily shared my full testimony, and that's coming. But I know what
Hmm.
that's like to be at the point to give up on life. And
Right.
I thank God that He allowed me the strength and the encouragement to drive past the scene of my own crime. You
Hmm.
know, and I'll just leave it at
Right.
that. But man, it's such a blessing to have a tour that's geared towards encouraging people. Hey, you might have gone through something. You might be down in life right now. They might have talked about you. You might have been lied on. You might have been abused when you were a child. You may have dealt with suicidal thoughts, but don't give up
Hmm.
because you're still
Right.
breathing, which means you still have purpose.
That's right.
You're still
That's right.
here, which means God still has work for you to do. And what you are and who you are and what God has for you to do is important. And it's bigger than you, and people need what God is doing through you. So don't give up. And then so
That's
on
it.
top of all the other great artists that are on, you know what I mean? Like, it's a blessing to be a part of a tour where there's so many other talented artists with different styles, which I love that. So yeah,
Yes.
man, it was just it's a great thing to be a part of.
Yes, awesome. And like I said, and I appreciate you, because it's very difficult to get a lot of people that are, I'll say, doing things in the same vein, but in a different way, on the same wavelength, if you will, to get everybody on one accord. And I'm so glad that with it's 10 different artists, and there are no like egos and I'm better than you and I'm better, you know what I'm saying? And everybody is just bringing what it is that God has given them. So I'm so excited to see how this thing continues to unfold, when we pick back up and continue, and the different lives that we are able to touch, because I'm one of those people who definitely have felt like giving up, tried to give up several times. God said no. So, and just having people too who are actually transparent in their own lives and connecting with their fans and their audience and sharing different parts of their testimonies that encourage other people to don't give up, and